You've just accessed Hardware is Forever, your source for the expert insights, ideas, and innovations you need to do more in the electronics manufacturing industry. From optimization to operations, join us as we put the pieces together for a better approach to manufacturing. Let's go.
This is Hardware is Forever. Jay Patel is with me. He's the CEO at Amtech, and we're continuing our conversation around game theory in business and life, a thing that Jay is sort of studying and that we're uncovering together in real time. And it's pretty fascinating stuff. We've talked about the prisoner's dilemma. We've talked about kind of what is game theory and what are its principles and what are some ways to think about it. Today, Jay, we're talking about iterated games. The grand scheme is around reputation. And so, well, what do you mean when you, in your context of iterated games, I think right away for me that something comes to mind there, but in some ways it's, my character died. Let me start from that place again. Like the game continues from some spot where I learned a thing and now I'm better for it. But where does this sit for you? What is iterative games in your context?
Yeah, I think, every aspect or every interaction that we do has a beginning and an end, and then you build upon it. And sometimes when you try to go to the next level, sometimes you take a step back, sometimes you take a step forward. And I think that's where the iteration is. We play multiple games all at once through time, in different places, in different cultures, in different areas, with not even human beings, with different species of animals. Like we play games with this type of game theory with our pets, it just everybody that's out there. So like I play game theory with the Canadian geese who are standing in the middle of the road. All these things are there. And I think where we need to see is what our patterns in our games. Our games that we play, are they zero sum or positive sum? And when given a chance over time, over situations, are we playing a zero sum game or are we playing a positive sum game? And when we repeat that and iterate that, our reputation is built. And that reputation speaks volumes of whether I am an individual who can be trusted, in the sense that I focus on positive sum games and positive sum outcomes or zero sum outcomes. And I don't think there's a person in the world who wants to be associated with somebody who is a zero sum outcome individual. So I think that's where the reputation needs to get built. That is a long game. So I'll give you a simple example. I say, Chris, sell your house, take all your money, liquidate it, and I got this next big stock that's going to make you billions. It's going to be even bigger than Bitcoin. It's going to be better than Tesla. It's going to be better than everybody. But I am a guy who is not that reputable. And then there's Warren Buffett, who has made billions of dollars and says, hey, Chris, don't do that. It's a long game. Invest in smart things, understand value investing, do what we do at Berkshire, and play the long game. It's not going to be invested and you're going to get money right away. Now, who is going to be more reputable at that time? The reputation I will say, is always going to be defaulted to Warren Buffett and Berkshire. So that is where reputation really comes in and helps us create a positive sum game more quickly. Because if we have a reputation that can be trusted, I don't have to go through the distrust and vetting process. I can trust what you have to say because you have that reputation. And that positive sum game for everybody gets accelerated even faster.
Part of what I'm hearing you say is you can say, it's almost a culture thing. You can say that you're this kind of game player, that you're in for the positive sum game, but your behaviors are the real thing. Your reputation is built on your behaviors. So the reason in your example why you aren't trustworthy is because all the headlines talk about how all you do is Bernie Madoff your way through life. But if we look at kind of the flip side and the Warren Buffett reputation that has been earned over time, the consistent behaviors that say a curveball here is not expected, you know what you're getting with this, that those behaviors lead to the positive outcome. Not the positive outcome decision leads to the behaviors. That can influence, but I can see how that would be, everybody, if we behave this way, we will achieve the thing. That will be the outcome.
Yeah. I think, how do you create that? I think one thing that we need to do is change the timeline of our outlook. Like, you don't get one shot. We all screw up. We all make mistakes. Vendors, customers, employees, friends, family. Like, if we build that right reputation, if we start changing, we can always get more and more opportunities. Like, you have to have a very, abundant mindset in this when you're playing. And then what is your ultimate leverage? Your leverage is your reputation and your reliability. If you have a great reputation, if you're reliable, that gives you leverage tomorrow to be able to get more and more opportunities and participate in bigger and bigger positive sum games, whether it's money, whether it's relationships, whether it's adventures, whether it's love, whether it's whatever it may be. So I think that's where we need to really focus and approach the game. There are places where we may be looking to play the positive sum game, and we feel and we incorrectly assess the situation and say, hey, that other person wants to play a positive sum game as well, but they end up playing a zero sum game where they got more out of it than you. And I think there's a time where you do need to stand up for yourself. So when the other party or the other person playing the game becomes zero sum, then I think you got to go tit for tat. Like, you have to protect yourself so then your resources don't get drained, because if your resources get drained, then the other people that are playing with you, and for example, my family, they get affected as well. So as soon as that happens, where we do get betrayed into thinking that it was a positive sum game, but now it's a zero sum game, we need to stop that right away. And it happens both ways. Like, if a vendor comes to me, or I go to my customer and I mess up, or my vendor messes up, and I'm okay with it, which is a lot what Toyota and the Toyota way taught us. We support them through their crisis, and when the customer goes through hard times, or when we go through hard times, we support our customers, or our vendors support us. So in those areas, we always have to remember that it in positive sum and zero sum, it is a tit for tat game. It's just we have to make sure we vet who we engage with through our reputation.
It's a little bit when you started way back in episode 1, I think you mentioned, like, some people might call it karma or whatever. You get back what you put out. And this seems to be representative of that. This iterative gameplay, how you play the game is how others will begin to play the game with you.
Yeah.
Do you think, how does this point of view shape a company's culture?
I think we always have to keep a long-term view. I think we always have to think that this organization is stable and is going to last forever. And don't make decisions because the moment is bad. Think long-term. And if you make those type of decisions, your culture will be more stable. It will be more fun. People will be less stressed out. And because you're not in that situation, you can come up with great positive sum solutions to the situation you're in. If you're just in survival mode, I've been in survival mode a lot, and it's not because the business was a survival mode. It's just that's how I was wired, and I've made bad decisions, and that has affected my customers, my vendors, and the people that I work with on a daily basis, and my family. So I think when you take a look at it, you can't work intensely and then take a lot of time off. You have to do something or work intensely, or work on this particular project for a small amount of time and think everything's going to be okay. I think it has to be well measured, and it has to be well executed over a long time. And that's what builds reputation and trust. Yeah,
it has to be sustainable. There has to be I don't even like to say it's the marathon versus sprint analogy, because it's not even a marathon. It's a lifestyle of exercise. Like, you just are consistently, predictably the same positive outcome focused organization, which means going back a step or two, you need to bring players into your game, others into your organization that are of that like mind. That gets into, for me, internal conflict, which is a game within a game, like that manager who is out to get everybody because they got their own issues, or that salesperson who cheated because they wanted to do X, Y, or Z. Like, you can start to see how everything starts to twist around everything else for this to work,
Yeah.
Do you think?
I think there's a lot to this. Like, I'm learning everything. I'm learning a lot with this.
Do you, as you're learning, do you find more answers or do you find more questions?
At this point, I'm just finding more questions.
Yeah.
But I think that, the ultimate answer is that everybody wins in a positive sum game. Now, the question is, how do I end up playing the positive sum game? Which is what we're trying to figure out, especially in business. Jay
Patel is the CEO at Amtech. We are continuing our discussion, and we will in our next episode as well on game theory. This is interesting and fascinating to me, Jay. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, and a special thanks to our subscribers and followers. Consider becoming one today wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube. Hardware is Forever is designed, tested, engineered, and built by the manufacturing experts at Amtech. Learn more and let us help you envision your next project with a free Design for Manufacturing assessment at buildamtech.com/DFM.